Are live.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Tracy Muhammad, founder of Manning Up in the Kitchen. And today we have Rochelle's Place Coffee Bar in Center Point, Alabama. As many of you know who are familiar with Manning Up in the Kitchen, I started about a year and a half ago. And one of the main objectives was to show people how to cook, um, healthier choice meals. But I hadn't done it in a while, but we decided, well, I would say God gave me the idea of taking Manning Up in the Kitchen into the streets to expose local businesses, black businesses in particular, that people may not be aware of. And today, we have the honor and the privilege to be, well, almost every day, I have the honor and privilege of being at Rochelle's Place. But this is one of the businesses and the first business that we have brought Manning Up in the Kitchen to. And we have such a wonderful, wonderful, fabulous couple here that God has destined and predestined to not just bring a coffee. It's not just coffee here, but what I see when I'm here almost on a daily basis, it's just phenomenal. The various people that comes by, the the owner, he's very resourceful, pointing people to where they can get jobs from, and his lovely wife right here, she keeps him in line. No, she don't. Just kidding. But I'm just so honored to know that 7 minutes from me in Birmingham, Alabama, into Center Point, that we have an oasis, right here in the center of Center Point. So this morning, I want to introduce to some and present to others the fabulous owners of Rochelle's Place Coffee Bar in Center Point, Mr. and Miss Whitaker. Good morning to you, both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, we're here. We've been talking about this,
Yes.
and we're here. And first of all, I want to just, Mr. Whitaker, just introduce yourself to you and where you from and what high school you went to.
Okay.
And
Well, my name is Moses Whitaker. I went to actually three high schools. I'm from Birmingham. Was born in Ensley, so we moved from Ensley to Titusville to Eastlake. So I graduated Woodlawn High School in 2001. I did a year at Restoration Academy. I did 3.5 years at Huffman High School. But Woodlawn was my final destination of high school to graduate from. Met my wife a few years ago. We were at I was in Food World in North Birmingham and walked in and gave her some kind of corny line, and the rest is history.
It was corny. It was a corny line. It worked, but it was a corny line. Though.
Well, you tell me the corner line later, okay?
Okay.
But anyway, and my sister, Miss Whitaker.
Okay.
Tell us something about yourself. Tell the people something about yourself.
Well, my name is Edkindia Whitaker, but everybody calls me Kendi. A lot of people don't remember Edkindia, but I'm cool with Kendi either way. But I am from Birmingham, Alabama, born and raised. I graduated from Parker High School in 2003. Um, I guess I think I'm pretty well rounded. He talks about me all the time. It's like, poor baby. He don't have no culture. He'll talk about me. But I mean it's okay. Like you said, we a few years ago, it's been almost 17 years now that we've been married, and we have three beautiful children, two girls and a boy.
Yes.
And yeah.
And
I
you do
mean,
something professionally too. Well,
I
tell us
do.
about what you do. This
Outside
is very important, excuse me,
okay, go ahead.
because a lot of times people think that I'm working a job that I can't do a business. Sometimes you do both. You
Mhm.
work one to help feed the other one, to build the
Yeah.
other one. So
Yeah.
tell us what you do and how what you're doing has helped you in your mindset as far as coming out here to the big world
Okay,
and,
gotcha.
and being in this business world.
Well, my husband and I, we talk a lot about, having a different business mind, and he's way more business minded than me. But professionally outside of here, I'm a respiratory therapist and I'm a baby therapist. I used to take care of adults, of course, but now I work in the NICU in the hospital, and I've been doing that for about 4.5 years in the NICU, and it gives you an appreciation for life. It really does, because it helps me to appreciate the blessing of being able to have children, and not just children, but healthy children. And because there are so many different ends of that spectrum, and it basically keeps me grounded. I was telling my husband just a few days ago, I had a rough day. That was a rough day at work.
Right.
He was like, "You okay?" I was like, "Yeah, it was just a long day." But um, like you said, it can be done. I work there full time. My husband is here full time, and in this place, he puts all his energy into this place. And so we were having a discussion once before about, where's your heart? Do we do we do we see things the same way? What is our end goal? And we're building something. We didn't start literally, with everything. We started from the bottom. And it wasn't just the bottom of our business, it was the bottom of our relationship, our marriage. And I have a wonderful husband. He's very well rounded, very grounded. And so it helps me to be able to do the things that I'm
Right.
able to do. So yeah, I mean, but
So yeah,
that's pretty much
so
it.
in this is a very special family, very special couple that I've seen interact, and how they treat people. The customer service here is just off the chain, and it's coming from, as she just mentioned, the heart. And it's not just about money, from what I felt.
No, right.
You all want to be an extension of God's will and
That's
helping
right.
His people.
Mhm.
So I first thought you was Rochelle. And
A lot of
so,
people think I'm
and so
Rochelle, but
you were the
it's
first to
okay.
tell me, no, I'm not Rochelle. That was my husband's sister.
Hmm.
So, Mr. Whitaker Moses, tell us more about how this name Rochelle came about, and something about your sister that had to be special for you want to keep her memory going.
Okay. Got to go way back to 26 years ago. When I was 14 years old, uh, in high school, I had a vision of a place. Didn't know quite what it was, but I always had this idea in my head of a space or a restaurant type of place. And so fast forward 2015, back my sister, Tawana Rochelle, um, she passed in 2015, and so the idea of having a place still burned in my heart, and because she's my sister, she's my only sister, uh, basically like mom number two. Would walk me home from school, make sure I was fed, help me with homework. Even her last day here on earth, I talked to her at 11:45 that morning, and I supposed to meet her that evening at her job at Best Buy. But of course, that meeting never happened. And so when she passed in 2015, uh, and the vision came about for the coffee bar, we decided we would name it after her. But Tawana's place didn't have a good ring to it. So we thought Rochelle sounded more of the
Pizzazzy.
more pizzazzy, more of the feel we was going for. And we decided we didn't want to go with the traditional coffee shop look. Like traditional coffee shops have the wood theme, the rustic feel. And so we want to have a theme, an image of my sister.
Right.
So if she had designed a place, it would be something kind of laid back, the dim lights, the darker decor, the red. Those more of a feeling. So it's just an honor to be able to name a business after my sister, and I'm able to talk about her just about every day, and keep her memory alive. One guy once told me, he said, people never die because their memory is here and their spirit lives on through us, and we're able to tell their story. So yeah, that's the inspiration behind calling it Rochelle's Place. And my actually Kendi, actually she designed actually hand drew the logo, and then we had a great manner photography, and she brought it to life. So just it's just an honor, like I said, once again, to be able to say Rochelle every day, and then explain to people who she is, and explain to people that that she was an inspiration behind the coffee bar.
Absolutely. Now, with using with pictures and images of a person, that kind of defies the business world principle.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you will operate apparently you are from a higher level because now that face of Rochelle is everywhere.
Absolutely.
And it draws people into her.
Absolutely.
And so, but you want to expound on that a little bit?
Well, if you a lot of the business and marketing strategy people, they tell you that caricatures or cartoon logos and images are bad for business, and they point to Gucci, they point to Prada, they point to Fenty, they point to all these different other brands. They just have uh, word logos, and they say, "Hey, this is this works for them," but we operate like you alluded to. We operate our faith. We believe that whatever God has for us is going to specifically for us, and nothing a logo, a marketing scheme, strategy beats what God has for us.
Absolutely.
And so when people come in and say, "Man, y'all need more customers, y'all need," and I tell them, God's going to send who He need to send when He need to send them because He knows He's God, and if this business flourishes for 20, 30 years, hey, glory to God. If the business closes within a year, glory to God. But we know we have a purpose. We know our purpose is to glorify God, and through that, we can serve coffee, we can meet people, we can connect people. And so our new slogan is connecting the community one cup of coffee at a time.
Mm.
And so we just really follow God. We're prepared, but we also are listening to God, whatever He tells us to do, whatever He directs us to. Now, sometimes we're hard headed. We're not this perfect couple.
Right.
Sometimes God tells us stuff and we like, well, I don't want to hear that. But overall, we try to hold each other accountable.
Right.
Try to listen to God. Try to be in tune with God. And sometimes you miss it, but vast majority of the time we do hit it on the head.
Right. You mentioned if y'all stay here a year, that's okay. But from what I'm experiencing while I'm here, no. Y'all will be on different parts of town because what you all have is not a want. This is a need right here in a place that people probably would have never thought about setting up a coffee shop.
Yeah.
But this is different than a coffee shop. This is connecting and reconnecting people that have been disconnected, hadn't seen each other in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the coffee draws people, but the spirit is keeping people coming back and telling everybody else. So to God be the glory for that. So as I met my sister, the first time I met her, she talked about I said, you Rochelle? She said, no, that was my sister. And then she talked about the chicken salad. So whenever I see chicken salad or think about it, I have to think about my late wife because she made, to me, the best chicken salad. Mm-hmm. And then Moses, one day we were talking, he said, yeah, my sister passed in June of 2015. And so, yeah. And so later on, I talked to him one day, it was one Friday, I think, and we was talking here, and he said, well, my sister, she passed in June of 11th, 2015. I said, man, my wife passed on the same day. Wow. So we were already spiritually connected, and that like consummated even more that your sister and my late wife, and I had told your wife one day that my wife, and I told you that she always wanted a coffee bar and a bookstore. Okay. And so it's like, man, you can't draw this up. You know what I mean? So this business is, as Jesus said, I must be about my Father's business. Mm-hmm. The Father is definitely within this business on a many level. So tell me some of the other things y'all do. Y'all just host. I was here the other day or last weekend, and that was we over there engaging in what we're doing. But Moses set up a corner over here for two young ladies came in and did a workshop right here while we there. And helping educate people about home ownership. So tell me more about that, and what other things that you have taken place in.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so the event that you were referring to is a home buying workshop, like you said, where we literally were just inviting people from the community. It's a need from the community, and it's free to them. You come in. We just want to give you the information to help you progress and move forward, because most people in our community don't understand the importance of home ownership and the importance of how you need to learn how to get there. What are the steps you need to take? And so when people call and say they want to do it, if you want to do something to help the community, we're all for it. We had a workshop prior to then for another lady, another group of ladies. They came in and they did a credit repair financial literacy course, so that people will be more prepared, financially to not just be, I guess, debt free, but how to expand and grow your own wealth.
Right.
Um, what is the next thing we're hoping to be working on soon is doing that for not just individuals, but for businesses. So small businesses, how to grow your business, how to be financially responsible with your business. How do you grow your enterprise and make it better?
Right.
Um,
So then, when I'm sitting over there drinking my coffee, these young people are educating people about home ownership. Who would even allow that to happen at the simultaneous in their business? That don't even happen. Even though it's good what they were doing, you know what I mean? Some people just come and say, hey, I want my coffee, I don't want to hear nothing.
Yeah.
But they were so in order that I'm sitting close to them and it didn't disturb me. Matter of fact, I had an ear, I was listening and drinking my coffee, but I was enjoying what I see. So, like I said, this is on a whole nother level, what y'all are offering the community. I think you have something with men coming here, have men talk,
Yes,
and also relationships. So talk about that.
And so the other things we've done so our goal, of course, is to glorify God, and through that, we hear, and we try to be in tune with the Spirit, to where we're making the most best sound decisions. People have come to us to want to do things here as well. We've told people no, because that doesn't align with what we want to do. But we've had a movie night. We showed Space Jam out on the lawn. We gave free hot dogs, free sodas. We partnered with the city of Centerpoint. They supplied the equipment. We supplied the facility and the hot dogs and the grill and things like that. We've had a fishing rodeo back in July, and we supplied door prizes for all the kids. We've done a lot. A guy named Dr. Jermaine Walls with Crescent Family Counseling. He came in one day just for a cup of coffee. He didn't come in to do business, a cup of coffee, and through the connection of the cup of coffee, we was talking about how men really don't sit around and talk about real things. It's mostly football or a lot of other bull jive.
It's your football today.
Yeah. So we came with the idea of calling the Daily Grind Men's Coffee Conversation, where we do it one Saturday a month. So we had our first meeting last Saturday. The next meeting's coming up next Saturday at 8 to 9 a.m. where we just, guys, come on out and get your free coffee, get your free pastries, and we just sit around and talk for an hour. Just have real conversations. Like last week we talked about how do you balance work and family.
It was last month.
Last month. We talked about how you balance work and family. And we was able to share ideas with one another, what we do, what they do, and take from one another and build from that. And then we also have had TOG and Barilla. They have a podcast. They broadcast it here on the fourth Wednesdays. And then we also invite there's a married club called the Married Couples Break Room. So they join with the podcast, and you're able to have couples here. You talk about relationship things on the podcast. Then we have next Thursday, we have a night of tranquility. We have having a jazz night here next Thursday. Tickets is on sale. Link will be on our Facebook. Link will be on our Facebook page. And it's only 30 tickets, I believe.
Yes, to be
and so I think they're going pretty quick. So we just are trying to bring things to this community. Our starting slogan was we want to be a catalyst for change in Centerpoint. Centerpoint gets a lot of bad publicity, and we are residents of the city, and we've been here, so we want to just bring those things to the city that we're missing. We want to help our people, and like with home ownership. And we know everybody's not ready to buy a home, but you get information and tools, so we are ready. You have the information you need to go forward. So we just want to be that light in the community, and to bring about change.
So I can tell you already the light.
Yes, sir.
The light gonna get brighter, but the light is already there.
Yes,
God has shined His light on both of you,
Yes, sir.
and everything has to be. The vision is one thing, but being able to project that business out to people, and you all do it in a very special way. And I'm not just saying that. I don't just anything come out my mouth is coming from the heart, and so with that, coming in, when people come through the door, how important it is when I sit here, when I come through the door, I'm always acknowledged. And it's not just me, but it's everybody I see come through. You all acknowledge them, even though you're still maybe fixing somebody's stuff, a coffee or whatever. How important is that for you all, as far as in your vision, to acknowledge the people, when they come through the door?
Customer service, it is definitely key. Like I said, we've been together a long time, and I guess when you're taught a certain way, you do things the way that you're, I guess, just raised to do it.
Right.
My husband talks about like how his mom raised him to be a certain way. You be respectful of people. You respect people's time and respect the person themselves. My mom did the same thing. You respect people's time and you be courteous. And in this position that we're in, when it comes to serving the public, you want to give them the best service possible, because I want it. I want the same courtesy. When I go somewhere else, I would want a good customer experience. And so we've been together a long time. My husband's a big stickler on customer service, and I mean, he will leave. It doesn't matter. I was the one when I realized how serious it was. I was pregnant with my son, and I was, when you're 7-8 months pregnant and you're hungry, and you leave 2 or 3 restaurants because the customer service isn't good, and I'm like, wait a minute. I know it's bad, but I'm hungry. He don't have to eat, but I need my food. But that's when it really clicked. Oh, he's big on customer service. He's always been big on customer service, because first of all, we believe this. Anybody who walks through that door, God sent them. It wasn't that they just happened to come. God sends every person who comes in these doors to patronize us. God sent them here, and it is our job to give God right back to them.
Yes, sir.
So that's where we are, and so that's our goal.
In our aha moment, when I personally knew that God sends people, sends who He want to send. I was here one day by myself, and a car pulled up, and I'm always looking out there, and these 4 people get out the car. These 2 couples, 2 men and 2 women, get out the car, and they come in, and I, of course, ask everybody who we not haven't seen before, or we don't know, how'd you hear about us? And they said we was headed to the airport, and we wanted some coffee. And so, if you know about Centerpoint, we're northeast.
Absolutely.
We're northeast. The airport is about 22, 23 minutes away.
Right.
And this out of the way, going to the airport. And they were from Spokane, Washington, as far as you can get from Centerpoint. They was from Spokane, Washington, and they wanted some coffee, and they passed by all your major shops, all your mom and pop shops to come here. And so we had people from Spokane, Washington, Gainesville, Florida, Houston, Texas, New York, Atlanta, and I even had a classmate I went to school with. They were traveling in town from San Antonio.
Right.
But she said we got to come. But I told my husband we got to come see Moses before we head back to San Antonio. So they came by here. So that tells me that everybody that comes through that door, no matter how big our sign is, no matter how many coupons or flyers we put out, it's God still puts it on a person's mind. Hey, go to Rochelle.
Well, coffee, I love it every day. I was going somewhere else, but I divorced them. When I found out about Rochelle's, I dropped them. Well, I may go Y'all closed. I want y'all walking in. Hey, I thought you come to us all the time. So I got to put the whole truth out there. It's a semi-divorce.
Okay.
But anyway,
I got you.
but I could never, and I've been going there for years, but I've never got the experience that I've gotten when I come here. Because it's beyond the coffee. You know, it's what I get to see and what I get to hear and what I get to feel. So I want to say that back to a night of tranquility, featuring a smooth jazz, gospel soul, and spoken word. Uh, so that would be one of the first times this is being put out, and I couldn't think of a better place uh, because a night of tranquility with all the confusion going on, we need peace. And when you have an environment that you control, you know, on that night it won't be any alcohol, all non-alcohol. It'll be food, and it'll be some of the greatest artists locally that could be anywhere on a national, international level that would be performing from this stage right here at Rochelle's in Center Point, Alabama. And, you know, there's just so much going on in this place. You know, yesterday the mayor came by when I was here for a moment. Tell us about, you know, the mayor and what he means and what it means to the for you all for the support coming from the city of Center Point, the government body.
Okay, so we both have kids the same exact age, and they were in the same going to the same school, Center Point.
You mentioned his name.
I'm sorry, Mayor Bobby Scott.
Okay. Yeah.
We both have sons. We met about maybe 5-6 years ago, and because we both were volunteering at the school with Eagles Club, and so we kind of kept a decent rapport through our volunteering at the school, and then it kind of just blossomed when he became mayor. I became one of his biggest supporters.
Right.
And so just his tenacity and his leadership, not only Mayor Scott, but also Council President D.M. Collins, those two were very instrumental in making sure that Rochelle's open. Without those two working side by side in their leadership, the path to opening would have been much, much harder. So, and the mayor, he tries to come by at least once a week to support us, and he's always, hey, what do you need and things going on? How can I help you? So he's been real. Mayor Scott and Council President D.M. Collins have been real big and real instrumental to helping Rochelle's place continue to grow.
Right. So that is very important when you come out into the business world and all that we desire in our mind. You have to go through the policies of the cities, municipalities to get licensed and whatever other things needed to set up and operate. So it's very important to get that support, and for them not to support you with giving you a permit, but also coming by the frequent, because the people that when they come for whatever, people get to see them and meet them too. So we're going to talk about that signature drink or coffee. What is one of the top sellers that you all have, and then we're going to talk about all that you sell. But what do you know? Because
we have a few. One of our most popular drinks is going to be the caramel frappe, and then second to that is our cookie crumble frappe or milkshake, either one, and then our frozen lemonades. And after that, I believe might be the caramel macchiato.
Oh, okay, wow. So
so.
The frozen drink. What's the most popular frozen drink that you have? Do you have a most popular?
Those are frozen. Yeah, those are frozen drinks.
Okay.
The frappes are frozen.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What did I have yesterday?
Oh, you had a frozen strawberry lemonade.
Wow, boy. I'm telling y'all for real now. I drink coffee every day. I don't think I've drink anything besides coffee. And so I thought about, maybe I don't know if you initiated or what. I said, well, let me get something cold. And I was presented with the strawberry.
Frozen strawberry lemonade.
A frozen strawberry lemonade. And I thought I had sinned before God. I'm telling no fear. It was so, the taste and what in my mouth, it was almost like they went outside and picked strawberries. So let's talk about that strawberry frozen lemonade.
So what's the story behind the lemonade recipe?
Oh, okay. So for me, it's simple. But as a young girl, my aunt, my oldest aunt, she's actually I think 84 now. And growing up, every day my aunt would make lemonade.
Mhm.
She'd make it every day for dinner, and we'd have lemonade and water, with our meal, whatever whenever we were at our house. And so one day she was in there, and I was like, Auntie, how do you make this lemonade?
Yeah.
And she just showed me. She said, it's pretty simple. You just put this in there, put this in there, add a little bit of this and mix it up. And then, of course, you'll garnish it with lemon, whatever, and put it in the picture. But it's the best lemonade I'd ever had in my life. And when we decided that we were going to do lemonades, I was like, oh, I know this recipe. And we've literally put that on our menu. Got it from my auntie.
That's another family recipe too. Let's talk about the other family recipe. Is there other drinks or food?
Pound cake.
Pound cake.
So yeah.
Don't mention the pound cake.
I got that one from my other auntie. And so when I'm trying to think, I may have been like maybe 19 years old, and I was at my aunt's house, and she was like, come help me do this. And I was like, yes, ma'am. And she was baking cakes, and it always smelled good. She's always been a very good cook, and she catered and everything. And so one day I was just in the kitchen with her, and I was like, hey, can you just show me this recipe? And she was like, yeah, it's simple. And she rolled off the ingredients, told me how to do it in this order every time. And I can do that recipe, and I can make that off the top of my head every single time without even having to look at the recipe. And so
wow. So
yeah.
So I've had the pound cake one time, but it's very good. I just have to try to keep off the pounds anyway. So I can't indulge too much, you know what I mean? But the chicken fiesta, come on, bro. Talk about the chicken fiesta.
The chicken fiesta dip. It's weird, but that recipe is at one point I was doing keto. I was on a keto diet, and it's low carb, and I came up with that recipe on keto. It's like something that I just put together that I knew would be savory, delicious, and filling. And so when we decided that we were gonna, do this, and we wanted to have food options, I was like, I can put that on the menu. I know how to make it just like that. I know the ingredients right off the top of my head. And so it ended up being one of those things that it was easy to make, very good, filling, and full of flavor. And I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna be really popular. And so came up with that just off the top of my head. And it was just one of those things, So I think when it came to coming up with just what we call our row bites, the row bites are basically our food items that we make,
right?
And then we get our other pastries from like local bakeries. But the fiesta dip and our chicken salad, basically we make that in house. And so
you make it too, sister. I mean, it's some.
We make it in house. I can't give you the recipe on that, of course, but
people ask about
they
it.
do ask about what's in it, and we the one thing about it is we don't use mayo, so
right.
Yeah, it's different, but it is good. Delicious, and it took a little bit of working with trying to get the same consistency every time, and that's one of our other row bites, that's on our menu. So we have that, the fiesta dip, cake, and our lemonade. Those are like our homemade recipes, pretty much.
Well, that was a good segue. You said you don't use mayonnaise. Mm-mm. So I noticed that, and we know that in the Black community, lactose intolerance is a reality. Mm-hmm. But I noticed that when you all make various drinks, you have different
milk options.
What are some of the options you use?
So we have almond. We'll do almond milk, oat milk, and coconut milk. We don't do soy milk, but we do almond, oat, and coconut milk as milk alternatives. And some people, like you say, they just can't do the dairy, and so if they want to have a drink, they can still have a drink, but they just can't have like those options, regular dairy options.
Right.
So we offer that here. That does cater to a bigger audience, because we have people who come here all the time and they're like, I can't do dairy. We're like, hey, we got you covered. If you can't do dairy, we got other things you can try and it'll still be just as good. So
Yeah, that's very important, because
Yeah.
I don't really like dairy products much, but
mhm.
that really is big to someone who really wants to come out and support, but because of health reasons. You want to enjoy what you partaking in, indulging in,
Mhm.
before, doing, and after.
Oh
So,
goodness.
but with that, with that options that you all have, I kind of watch everything, not in a critical way, but
Mhm.
I'm always trying to learn and absorb. It's not even hard when you really got the spirit. When people have a right spirit, they're coming from God, and even if they make a mistake, it's coming from a good place.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else y'all want to mention? When did y'all open up?
We opened up. We were just talking last night. We opened April 19th of this year. It's supposed to be this September, but
Yeah.
the thing is kind of you have a plan, but then I think you have a plan and a goal to keep you on track. But then once you see you're ahead of schedule,
Right.
you can move things up. I want to mention something about the menu. On the menu,
Okay.
we're not a fast food place, and
Right.
we're not a quote unquote cafe. So I
Right.
tell people that our food is a complimentary drink. So the drinks are filling, and our milkshakes are made with real ice cream. We use fresh ingredients. Nothing is ever frozen except for the ice cream, of course. And then we also offer our chicken salad and our pound cake and our lemonades. We use all that stuff for party packs. So we have people that buy a pan of dip. They may buy a pan of strawberry banana pudding. So we use all those things for party packs as well. What I mean.
Yeah, it's on our catering menu. That's what it's. Rose Party Packs is the name of our catering menu.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
So y'all offer catering too,
Mhm.
but the Fiesta dip.
Yep,
Yes, sir.
we do.
Wow. So I learned something new today. They offer catering,
We
the
do.
catering service. So we're
Yeah.
going to be interviewing various Black businesses in Birmingham, in the metropolitan area, even beyond. So it'll be actually the restaurants, the coffee places, um, food trucks,
Mhm.
bakeries, wherever there's food involved.
Indeed.
We want to be going out to them so the masses find out about them.
Mhm.
But the standard of these businesses, you have to always not coming up. You got to have a certain standard.
Yeah.
We can't help
Yeah.
you with the standard,
Yeah, there
but
you
we can
go.
help you with the exposure. You know what I mean? So that's the goal of Manning Up in the Kitchen. I just wanted to let the viewers know that Manning Up in the Kitchen. I haven't been in the kitchen in a while on Facebook Live,
That's okay.
but I'll be going back in there on Sunday around 3 o'clock, cooking a very wholesome meal,
Turkey loaf.
the turkey loaf.
All right. I was
And I
just
want to
gonna say,
tell you all that what I'm making tomorrow, half will be for my family, half will be for your family.
all right.
Straight from Manning Up in the Kitchen.
We definitely appreciate
You know,
it.
y'all fed. Well, I don't eat a lot here, but what I'm eating here, well, I have to be kind of guarded on what I eat. Now,
Yes,
the older
sir.
you get, you have to be careful. But if I wasn't trying to be careful, be manning up, can't get in the kitchen. But everything that I see here and feel is from God.
Well, thank you.
And I'm just honored that God allowed you all to go through all that you have to go through. We ain't gonna talk about the dark spots.
Yeah.
But I want you to mention to other young people or people in general the importance of the vision that God gives you, and also making sure that you do not falter because of obstacles. How important is that? And if you have a falter when you are faced with difficulty, none of this would be here right now.
Yeah.
So, what are the value and importance of being the unforeseen, but also being able to be have fortitude to continue. We're going to get ready to close because they're about to open in 10 minutes. So let me say this, come on out to Center Point today, right behind the Firestone. The post office is right across the street, also from Rochelle's place. As a matter of fact, I heard of Rochelle's place, but I didn't know where it was. And one day I had bought something from another black business across the street, and I pulled up here to the post office parking lot. And as I was lifting my head, I lift my eyes, came, and I saw Rochelle's place. And boy, did I have a moment. I said, there it is right there. Hadn't even stepped in here, you know what I mean? But you all were closed. But one thing that really impressed me as I saw your husband, he was walking some trash to the garbage, and he came back. And I rolled down on it. I said, this Rochelle place? He said, sure. I said, yeah, I love coffee. And I said, but I know y'all closed. He said, you want a cup? So this man, well, he in business, you could do that. But if he's working for somebody else, you got to go by politics. But he came outside of the norm, and he came back in here and made me a cup of coffee and brought it to me. And you all had already closed. So I already knew that was very different. But I really appreciate it. And I told him that I was coming back. And then I came back, and man, have I been very grateful, because this is 7 minutes from my house. You know, I would have drove from Toucan. I'd have drove anywhere just to be here after I found out the spirit that you have. So I just want to say, to God be the glory, that God continue to show both of you as a couple, a married couple, favor. And I will send anybody that may have some marital problems. I don't usually do this, but from what I see and feel from this couple, I think they're an example. That we can come and talk to them, since they're doing all this other stuff. But there's nothing more important than family. And so in that institution of marriage. So I thank God, and to God be the glory. Anything you all want to say as we close out today? Tell us the hours that you're open. And
Well, we're open Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. Like you said, we're located right here in Center Point, Alabama, right behind the Firestone, in the same shopping plaza as the post office. And to your question earlier about advice, stick to it. Trust God. He will never, ever forsake you. God is always faithful. If he gave you a vision, he is faithful to make it come to pass. So stick to it. Trust him. That's pretty much it.
anything, brother?
Stick to the plan, and if you're praying for success and praying for God to increase or grow whatever you're doing, leave you with a quote: if you're praying for rain, have an umbrella.
There you go.
That is absolutely true.
That's it.
So again, my name is Brother Amir Tracy Muhammad with Manning Up in the Kitchen. We have been blessed this morning here in Center Point, Alabama, at Rochelle's place, to be with this awesome couple who allowed us to come in to make sure that you get the heart, mind, and spirit, because there's no way that people will be able to get the background by who's Rochelle, the story behind that. While they coming in to get a cup of coffee, they would not have time. So that's why God has put on my heart to come out to these restaurants and businesses to expose the people, or the heart and the mind and spirit behind what they do. Again, Manning Up in the Kitchen. Remember Thursday night, right here at Rochelle's place in Center Point, a night of tranquility, featuring smooth jazz, neo soul, spoken word, some of the most phenomenal artists, hosted by T. Ellis, smooth jazz by Mr. Very. The neo soul would be by Miss Joelle Regal, and we have spoken word artist Brother Glenwood that will be here at Rochelle's. Tickets are $35. That will include food, light food, non-alcoholic beverages. You can't find that nowhere. It's family friendly. So remember, this Thursday we'll have the Eventbrite link up in a few minutes. But you can go on there. They got tickets here at Rochelle's. Only 30 people will be able to get in that night. Very intimate crowd, and those tickets are already gone. Matter of fact, we have about 26 tickets left. So don't wait like Birmingham around this area to walk up. They will not walk up, but you won't be able to get in. But we're gonna be doing this once a month, God willing, right here at Rochelle's place. Again, my name is Brother Tracy Muhammad. May God bless all of you with a wonderful day, you and your families, and to God be the glory.